Welcome to the walkthrough of Module 4, creating a multi-page document. In this walkthrough, we'll be looking at inserting cover pages, inserting text in content controls, applying some character effects, changing paragraph indentation, insert formatted headers and footers, remove a content control, formatting the page numbers, sort paragraphs and tables, change the color of bullets in a list, add picture bullets to a list, create a multi-level list, edit and format the word tables, insert a formula in a table, and create a watermark. During your business and personal endeavors, you may want or need to provide a recommendation to a person or group of people for their consideration. You might suggest they purchase a product such as a vehicle or food, or contract services such as veterinary services or web design services. Or you might try to convince an audience to take an action such as visiting an establishment or donating to a cause. We're going to be looking at a proposal. So you may find yourself writing a proposal. And a proposal is generally one of three types: sales, research, or planning. A sales proposal sells an idea, a product, or a service. A research proposal usually requests funding for a research project. A planning proposal offers solutions to a problem or improvement to a situation. We are going to be doing a sales proposal. So in this module, we will learn how to create the sales proposal shown here in this figure. We will perform the following general tasks as we progress through the module. The first one is to create the cover page. Once we create that cover page, we will modify our page formatting in the proposal. We will edit and format lists in the proposal. We will edit and format tables in the proposal, and we will create a watermark in the proposal, all as you see here. So to get started, I'm going to ensure that I'm in Word Module 4, creating a multi-page document, and I'm going to choose the textbook project for Word Module 4, creating a multi-page document. Once I click into that, I will ensure that I click my Start button over here on the right-hand side, and I will download the Start file. Now, there are some supporting files that we will require, so ensure that you download them. You can choose to download them all as well, but we're going to, when we need it, we will download it. It's a picture file. And of course, there is the project instructions right here. When I upload it, I must ensure that it is named the expected file name. So I will go ahead and download all of my files. And I will start. So I know that it's in my downloads for sure. And I think I'm going to start with this one, the Word file. Word has opened up, and we are now going to enable our editing so that we can edit the document. So assume you've already have prepared the draft of the body for this proposal, and this is what is in this data file. We want to do a save as, so I'm going to choose to save as using my my button in my quick access toolbar. If you do not have that there, I recommend you put it there by simply customizing your quick access toolbar, scrolling down and saying more commands, and you will see that I have save as on mine. If you do not have that there, simply scroll down until you find save as, and you can choose add, and then say OK. I already have it there, so I don't need it there twice. So I have save as, and I will say OK. So I'm going to save as the document says it wants. I will just simply go into my, maybe I'll just put it on my desktop in Word, and I will save that as whatever it says to save it as. So it wants SC_WD _4_ employee retreat sales proposal. Employee _retreat. And I know these are a little bit long, but we will then upload what they require. Sales _proposal. And now I'm ready to go. I have my document saved. And once I have my document saved, I want to ensure that I have my Show Hide button on so that I can see the paragraph markers. I can see where there is spacing, and I can work with it much better. We also want to display the page the same width as the document window. So we're going to go to the View tab, and we'll go to the Zoom group, and we're going to choose page width. Whoa. Okay, so it's pretty big here. Right now it's at 219. If I don't want it that big, I can just scroll down and put it back to like 100% or something so that I can see more. I don't want it in 2 pages, but I'll put it right there. I would like the ruler to be up here, and my ruler is on. In the View tab, choose Ruler, and now our ruler is ready to go. Now we're going to create the cover page. A cover page is simply a separate title page in a multi-page document that contains at minimum, the document or the title of the document, and often the writer's name and sometimes the date. For a sales proposal, the cover page is usually the first page of the document. So we're going to start to create a title page. I'm going to ensure that my cursor is right here in right before Awakenings. I'm not sure it really matters, but I want to make sure that my cover page comes in at the beginning. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab up here. I'm going to choose the cover page. Now there is a little drop down arrow here we can see, and it will bring up a bunch of built-in cover pages. I want to just choose one of the built-ins. I'm going to choose one called Retrospect. So I will scroll down and see if I can find Retrospect. I see Retrospect, and I just clicked on that. So it created a page break so that it's on its own page. And now we have these content control items. We just simply need to click on them and type. So the title of the page is going to be Employee Retreats. Employee Retreats. And that is known as content control. Okay. Our next content control is the document subtitle, and we are going to type in there recharge, reconnect, renew. So recharge, comma, reconnect, comma, renew. Now it defaulted to all caps. That's just the way it is set up. And then we're going to scroll down to the company area. So I'll just scroll down a little bit. And it says this is the your name, company name and company address. So her name or our name is going to be, oops, I slipped it off, so I'll have to select. I wasn't highlighted, so that means that I have to highlight it. So I'm gonna, it is Cara Bates, event coordinator, and she wants her phone number in there as 616-555-0122 as the text. The company name is going to be Awakenings Lodge and Conference Center. And the company address I'll put in as well is 15683 Traverse Lane, Holland, MI, and 49424. So when I do my typing, I'm probably going to do text to speech so that it types for me. I don't have to worry about making mistakes. But for the cover page, we'll do that. So now we have created our cover page. And if I want to deselect being in one of these content controls, I would select end on my keyboard. If you don't have end on your keyboard, you can just click off of it anywhere. Now we want to do a little bit of modifications here. We want to modify the characters in small caps and then the spacing as well. We want to enter and format the document title text in the middle of the cover page. Its characters need to be bold, and each letter of this text is formatted in small caps, which really are letters that look like uppercase letters, but are smaller than other uppercase letters in the document. Also, we want some extra space between each character so that the text spans the width of the page. So we're going to get started with that. We're going to scroll up and select the text that's to be formatted, which is Employee Retreats. So I will select that. I'm going to go to my Home tab, and I'm going to go to Fonts. So I have my font group right here. I will go to open my font. That's a More button. It's sort of known as a More. I will go into the More, and I would like it to be bold. So I will ensure I select bold. And I would like it to be small caps. So in this text up here is small caps, or in these boxes, these effects is going to be small caps. And we'll be able to see what it looks like down here. So we've got small caps so that they're shown in a little bit smaller caps. I'm going to then go and say I want to go to the Advanced tab up here. So we have Font and then we have Advanced. And in Advanced, we can change our character spacing and some other stuff that we can do as well. I'm going to go to the spacing arrow. I will drop down, and it wants to be expanded. I want it to be larger. So I want to expand it, and it says, how much do you want to expand it by? And I'm going to keep it at the default of 1 point. So my next one, no, not. I'm going to change it to 5 points. So I double click. I can either double click and just type the number 5, or I can use my arrows as well. So that will increase it and give it some spacing within that. And then I'm going to just simply say OK. And we'll notice that as soon as I said OK, it's expanded out and it has definitely fit the whole page. Okay, so our next step is that we're going to be modifying some page formatting. And in the draft proposal below this cover page, we're going to delete a page break, apply some styles, change some paragraph indentations, and look at headers and footers, and then formatting our page numbers. So if we scroll down here and we make sure that our show hides are on, you'll notice that there are a few like page breaks around here that we want to get rid of. So we're going to go down to this page break. If we scroll down from the where it says team building activities, we're going to go get rid of that. So I'm just going to double click the page break. So I double clicked, and I'm just going to push delete on my keyboard. Okay. So it deleted that page break. Well, it actually deleted the other thing, so it didn't select the whole thing. So let's just delete that page break. So we got that page break deleted. And if I scroll down, I don't see that there's anything else there. Maybe I'll undo that and make sure I did it right the first time. So I'll do that. Okay, so instead of deleting the thing, I'll delete the page break. Okay, so now I have it selected correctly. I just did an undo and push delete. So now it's all done. We have our dining and team building activity fees are there. Our next step is to apply some heading styles. So we want heading 1 style for the text awakenings. So I'm just going to go up there, awakenings. So I will select that. And we want this to be heading 1. Okay. So you'll notice I didn't actually have to select the whole thing. I could just put my cursor anywhere in that paragraph and select heading 1. We also want a place to recharge, reconnect. So let's find that. I'm going to find it first. A place to, I don't even see it. Place to recharge. Oh, yeah, they just wanted to continue on there. And renew. And then heading 2 style to the paragraph containing the text facility. Okay, so I'll just put my cursor there and we'll make that a heading 2. So I've selected my styles. If you don't see them all because it's kind of squished, you can just do the more styles button you'll do the More Styles button. I click the wrong button right here, and it will show up the styles. So we want heading 2 in there. Our next step is that we want this paragraph right here under Awakenings. We want that to be indented from the left margin by 1/2 an inch. So we want the headings to begin at the left margin, which is Awakenings, and the paragraph itself to be indented. So I'm going to just put my cursor there. I'm going to go to the paragraph group. I will select the More, and I will look at this, and we want to change the left indent right here. We want to change the left indent to 0.5, okay? So because, I'll just put it at 0.5. So that is going to give an indent in there. Let me just see whether we want it to, yeah, 1/2 an inch, 0.5. Okay, and I'll say okay. So now the whole paragraph jumped in by 1/2 an inch. If we notice up here, we have a first line indent, a hanging indent, and a left indent. I could have just dragged that over if I wanted to as well. All right. So now we have that paragraph done. We're going to work on our headers. So here we have a header. So if we look here, that we don't see it right here, but there is a header, and a header is on the top of each page, and a footer is at the bottom of each page. We want to insert a different first page formatted header because we don't want the header to appear on the cover page. Cover page is all on its own. So we can instruct Word to for the header and footer not to appear on the first page of the document. So we're going to go first off to our Insert tab, and we're going to go to the Headers groups, Headers and Footers, right over here, and we'll choose Header. So in this drop down for our headers, we want to choose what kind of header we want. And if we scroll down, we should see Retrospect. Okay, document title and date on a 2-toned accent color block. We will choose that. And now we have our header up here. We want to also choose, see up here, it says a different first page in our options. So now we have 3 tabs with our header that has to do with our header. And make sure that different first page is selected. Okay, if it's not selected, click it so that it doesn't appear on the first page. Our next piece that we're going to look at is the content control. So see how they've already put this date in here and it's in square brackets? When they do that, it is a content control. And we don't actually want it to be on our header. So we're just going to right mouse button click and remove our content control. Okay, so we want to remove that so it doesn't show up right there. So now we've got our header. If we click off of our header, we can double click by double clicking in the page, or we can simply, while we're here, if we wanted to go to a footer, or we could close our header and footer. For us, we want to go to our footer. Okay, so right here it says go to footer. So I will go to the footer, and now it says that I'm in the footer of this document. So I want to choose what type of footer I want. I want the retrospect as well, so I'm going to go to my footer right over here, and I'm going to choose retrospect. So it's up here in the header group, and I'll choose retrospect. And I will also ensure that it says different first page. Okay. Remember, now that it's different first page, we see that our page number down here is number 1. And because it is number 1, well, it is number 1, because we don't count the cover page. So ensure that different first page is shown. In order to format these page numbers, if we want the page number to show with dashes around it, instead of just a single number 1, it sort of makes the page number a little bit more noticeable. We are going to then go and fix this page number. So my cursor is still in my footer. I see that from down there. I'll go to page numbers and I'm going to format the page numbers. Okay, it just changes how it looks. I will choose that and I will click the number format arrow and I will be able to see the choices that I have. So this one where it says -1- is the one I want. There's lots to choose from, but that's the one I want. And then once I say okay, it will come up down there and I can say okay. And if I scroll through, I'll just close my header and footer and we'll take a look and see what it looks like. So we have our cover page and there is no header or footer on our cover page. We have our employee retreats. We remove the date, scroll down to the bottom, and now we have Cora Bates, event coordinator, and our page numbers. Next, we're going to format the conclusion, sort of the last line in the document. So choose Awakenings for your next employee retreats. I'm going to select that and I'm going to change this so that it is colored, it uses small caps, and it has expanded spacings. All right, so I'm going to go up to my font group right up here, and I can do it all in one if I want to. So I can go to font, and I'm going to choose that it is the color. So I'll go to the font color right here. So in my font color, I'm going to choose orange, accent 2. I'm going to choose it to be size 16. So I will take size 16 right there. Excuse me. I'm going to choose small caps. And I'm going to go to my Advanced tab, and I'm going to change my spacing to expanded by 2 this time. Okay, so I'll go 2, and I'll say OK, and I'll click off of it, and now I have choose Awakenings for your next employee retreat. Perfect, exactly what I wanted. So this finished proposal has 2 lists. It has a bulleted list and a multi-level list. So we're going to use create a bulleted list that use predefined characters instead of simple round dots. And we're going to look at a multi-level list. So the first thing we're going to do is select the predefined bullet character list. I'm going up to Facility, and in Facility we have the building, the meeting rooms, the dining, and the grounds. So they should be a bulleted list. So instead of simply clicking the bullets button and apply a default, which is what we would do if we did that, we're going to have a predefined character. So we're going to go to I've selected the list, and I'm going up here into the paragraph to the bullets, okay, bullets. And if I had just clicked bullets, the bullet button, it would give me those squares. I'm going to do the down arrow, and I want to choose the bullets arrow, okay? So this is the bullets, the arrow button. It's not that pretty, but anyway, so now I have the arrow button there. I can change the color of the bullets itself. So with that bullet list still selected, I can, once again, I can change those. So I'm just going to go to my bullets again, and I'm going to go to my bullets that I have here, and I'm going to define a new bullet. Okay, so I'll go to define a new bullet, and I have already had my picture that's here. I will go into my, excuse me, I'll go into my font here, and I have a wingding right here. I'm going to click the font color, choose that one, and I want it orange accent 2. Okay, so all of my wingdings in this case for this are going to be orange. Now, wingdings are basically a bunch of bullets and stuff like that, but it's going to make it look a little bit different. So notice that now my arrows have changed to orange. I could change other things in there, but that's all I need to do. So now I have orange bullets. But my list still sort of feels a little not quite as indented as I'd like. So we've indented it here. You'll notice that we have an indent. I'm going to also change the indent. I'll actually go back to highlighting that. Should have kept it highlighted. I also want to indent it from the right. Okay, so I'm going to take my indent right here. If I highlight up the right indent for that paragraph that I have, and I'm going to move it to the 6. Okay, so I now have indented the list. So I've indented it from the left, and I've indented it from the right. My next step is to insert a page break, because the team building activities heading right here should actually be on this page. Okay, so there's a couple of ways of doing that. We can do it using our keyboard, or we can do it using our insert page break. So I'm going to go up and I make sure I'm on this side of the team. I'm going to go to insert, and I'm going to go to break. Okay, so I'll select the word break, and it inserted a page break. The other way I can do would be a control enter, and that inserts a page break as well. Now we want to make sure our codes are on, or our paragraph markers are on, so that we can see that things are working just the way they should. So in addition to the bulleted list, we're going to create a multi-level list, and that's simply a list that contains several levels of a list item. So we want a list of indoor and outdoor team building activities that are available during employee retreats. So that's going down in our team building activities. Right down here, I'll put my cursor right at that paragraph marker. And we're going to use the bullet multi-level list. So we have numbering and we have a multi-level list. So bullets, numbering, and multi-level lists. We're going to choose the multi-level list, and we want to choose the characters here. So we want this one right here. It's got characters. So we'll choose that one. And our first character is kind of a starry thing. And we need to do some typing and entering. And because I'm a non-typer today, I'm going to dictate. So we want it to say indoor team building activities. And I will enter after each bullet. If I want it to tab in, which is what's going to happen now, I'm going to have an indoor team building activities. And this time, my bulleted list is going to be a list of all of the indoor team building activities. I'm going to indent my list, okay? So I'm now pushed enter right away, and then I'll go up here, and I have increase indent or decrease indent. So I'm going to increase my indent, which is going to get me to the next bullet level. And then I'm going to type in all of the indoor games that are available. Board games, card games, pool table, so I've entered those. I probably want to fix this so that it starts with a capital. Not good. And maybe I'll do the pool as well. And I can check and make sure everything is typed correctly. This one, yeah, see, if I typed it probably would have been better, but sometimes typing is slow. Activities. And now that I'm sitting here, right here with my cursor, I have finished with all of my indoor team building activities. So what I would like to do is then decrease the indent to get back to the next level or back up to one more level. So now my team building activities are indoor team building activities, and then there's going to be outdoor team building activities. So I'll start with that outdoor team building activities. Okay, now our list, of course, for our outdoor team building activities, I'm just going to capitalize all this stuff, is going to be quite substantial. So that's a good thing I type and talk, right? Probably have to fix a few things. And now we want this to be indented or increase the indent. And we will list all of those as we go. What do we have? Light activity. Scenic hayride. Bonfire with s'mores. Scavenger hunt. Oh, it didn't even do scenic hayrides. I forgot to push enter. Enter. Delete. So I gotta fix this up. Bonfire with s'mores. It actually knew what I was talking about. I'm pretty impressed. Look at you go. All right. So we have those, and then the hayride. I think the hayride needs to be one word. Let's make it one word. And then we want to have some moderate activities. So I will increase my indent, and we will put in moderate activity. And our moderate activity will increase our indent so that we can say what the moderate activities are. And we have archery, bike riding with guide, hiking with guide. And that is all. So I guess I could say the word stop dictating or something, but I'm not going to bother with that. Pretty soon, AI will do it all for us anyway, right? Okay, so now we have all of our, this is a multi-level list. And we're going to do a few things and sort of just change a few things. So the multi-level list in the sales proposal draft used those defined bullet characters. We're going to change the first level bullets in the multi-level list, this one, from the default to a picture bullet, because we want it to be more visually appealing. So we are put our cursor right by the indoor. We're going to go up to our bullets arrow and we'll go to bullets. And in this case, we're going to define a new bullet. And when we get to define a new bullet, we want to go to picture this time. Okay. And here we want to go, and I'm going to search in the search button. I'm going to do abstract group interaction. Okay. See what comes up. So we have some stuff here. And we want to pick one. Let's pick this one right here. This is the one that we're going to select. It's going to be interesting. And we will click insert. Okay, so now we got sort of this abstract kind of thing. We changed the picture for the bullet. So we selected that picture and we will say okay. So now that's the bullet that we put in there. We left the boring bullet, so we might have to change that because this is the arrow bullet. We want to change that one too. So we have that funky one. Now we're going to go and change this one here. And we will go to our bullets. We will define a new bullet. So you'll notice that the ones that we have defined are now up here in our bullet library, so we could reuse them if we wanted to. So in this case, they just want we'd like the bullet character for the second level list to be an open circle. So we do have an open circle right here. So we're going to choose the open circle. And now that we have our open circle, we've changed and defined our bullet. Now this one here, I might have missed a step, but it looks like our list is indented quite a bit. Mine didn't indent like theirs did, but even theirs is not indented as much. No, it kind of is, isn't it? So maybe it needed to be indented a little bit more. So I'm just taking a peek to see where theirs went to. So I'll probably get in trouble for this one, but I think I want all of this list here. Because mine didn't say to do that, but I have noticed that I don't want that one. It's kind of doing my indent here. That's not gonna work. Let's just undo. I'll just undo and go back. I'll just leave it there until they tell me that I did it wrong. Because theirs looks a little bit more indented, their list. So, like as in indented, but I don't want to mess with it until I saw if I screwed up too much. But they can mark me wrong. So I thought it would have just done the thing it did, but didn't indent on its own. All right, so next is going to be that I'm looking and saying I didn't pay that much attention here. So you'll notice that the light activity here, didn't even notice that they did that. So in the light activity, we had light activity in the outdoor and moderate activity. So mine has to get changed a little bit more. So in light activity, you will have noticed, you probably were following along going, hey, you screwed that one up, but that's okay. My scenic rides, I want to, for light activity, I'm going to increase the indent on that one. So I have scenic rides, and my bonfire with s'mores, I'm going to increase that indent, and a scavenger hunt, I will increase that indent as well. And with moderate activity, it's still an outdoor team building activity. So I want to, actually I'll select that one and increase its indent. And then archery, bike riding, and hiking, I'm going to select those three, and then I will increase theirs a little bit more. So I wanted them to, so now we have outdoor team building activities, and then we have some light and some moderate. Okay, so now I'm back on track. The final thing we're going to do with this list is we're going to sort the paragraphs. So we want to select the paragraph for the light activity. So when we want this to be alphabetical, And in this case, I only have 3. I could do it quite easily, but I'm not gonna. So what I've done is simply highlighted them, and I'm going up to my sort button right here. I have a sort button. I'll click my sort button just once, and it says, what do you want to sort by? And I want to sort by paragraphs, ascending, and text. So they were highlighted. There's no header row, and I'll just say okay. So it's sorted that way. This one, archery, bike riding, is sorted. And of course, the indoor team building one is sorted as well. So then I'll deselect, and we've got that done. And if I see that we need to increase the paragraph of these, I think we probably do. But we'll see if they mark us wrong for that. All right, now that we're done with the multi-level list, we are going to work with the table. Let's see where my table is. We have a table right here. This table has the data in there, which is lovely, and we're going to edit this table. So the first thing we're going to do is to change the column widths of the table. So if I put my cursor in the table, okay, you can see up here in our ruler, if you have your ruler showing, the widths of the columns in our table. Okay, so what we want to do is, I mean, we could move this, and be very specific if we double clicked, or we could move our column, table column. So when you move in your ruler bar, if you sort of move it around a bit, it will come to the double arrow, and that's what we want. So we want to move the column, the table column, and we want to make it smaller. So we can make it the size we want by moving it. The problem with that is that it's more difficult to see what the size is that you're doing. The other way we can do it is, if we don't want to use that, we can go up to our table layout here, which is really the best way to do it. And we can change the width of this to something specific. So for example, if we watch and play with this, we'll see what happens. So say I want the column width to be bigger, or sorry, the height to be bigger. See what it's doing? It's whatever cell I'm in is the one that it works with. Same with the width of it, whatever cell I'm in. Now it's doing this whole column, okay? So let's make this 0.3. I don't know that I want 0.3. That seems too small. So we're going to change that to, let me just see what the numbers were, 1.6. That makes more sense. So I'll have it at 1.6. My next column, I'm going to change, so I'm in my layout. It just makes life easier than trying to drag it around. Is going to be 0.98. So I could just type that in, 0.98, and push enter. And my daily rate column, I'm just going to put my cursor in the daily rate column, and I'm going to change that to 1.06. 1.06. Okay. So now I have changed the columns, the individual columns. Now, if I want to change the height of the row, I would select all of the rows that I want. So I selected them all. It's kind of the easiest way to do it. And then I will change the height of that, and I want it to be 0.3. So I'll just type in 0.3 and see what happens. Okay, so it spread it out a little bit, and it made it so that it's really looks a little bit better. Okay, so we have that done. The next thing we want to do is to, I think we want to distribute the rows, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do that in a bit. Maybe it says to do that. I'll do that later. But then if I wanted to distribute it and make them all even, and I didn't work, I would do this. So that would make them all, but we're not going to do that right now. So we did the height. We're going to apply a style to it. So I'm just going to click off. Don't want to keep it selected. I'm just going to apply a table style now. So if I go to table design, and you see all these table styles, there's a lot of them. I want to choose a grid table. So I have all of my grid tables. I want a grid table. I want 5 dark accent 1. What is this? Grid table 4. This is grid table 5 dark. And do I have a grid table 5 dark accent 1? Let's see. Grid table dark accent 1. So it's blue. I'll select that. Make sure in your table styles option that we show the first column. Okay, so the first column is different. And we have the header row and banded row. So we want to make sure that the first column is checked, because this is the data, but the first column is kind of going to be the same as the first header. Now we want to align the data. It sort of looks kind of funky. We want to align them horizontally in the cell or vertically. So we're going to display the layout tab. So we have our layout tab right here. And with my table selected, so I can choose to select my whole table by clicking this up here, or I could select the stuff within it. So we want to select the leftmost column. Okay, so we want to select the leftmost column. So a couple of ways of doing that is I could just, when I move my mouse around, I can just move my arrow until it becomes a black thing. And then the black arrow makes it so that it selects the column. The other way is I could select all of it, but just if you just select the text, that's just the text. So you notice the paragraph marker or the enter marker for the table is not selected. You would have to select it all and include the enter, that marker that we have here. Okay, so either way, whatever way it works. So I've selected that, and I want to go up and I want to align center left. Okay, so right here we have align top left. I want it to align center left. And what that's going to do is center it in the cell. I want to select the second and third columns. So in this case, I'll deselect, and now I have my black arrow, and I can click, hold, and drag, and it will select both of them. And I want to align center right. Okay, so align center right. Makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it? And the numbers. And then we want to take our whole table and we want to center it in here because it doesn't look very good. So I'm going to select my table right here, and I'm going to make sure that so that selects the whole table. And you want to make sure that you have, see these markers that are at the end? That's part of the table as well. So I can move it, and that's what this is known as the move handle. I could try and move it myself, or I could just click center. And the fact of the matter is I really just want it to be centered. And if I click on here again, I will come up with this is a sort of a quick access toolbar kind of thing. And I can just choose the center. Okay, so it centered it on the page. And that's mini toolbar is quite handy for stuff like that. So now I've got my table done. Maybe I want to sort it so I can have this alphabetically by the building. If we want to sort, we have to tell it what we want to sort it by. So my table is still selected, and I'm going to go up to my sort button right up here. And in my sort button, it says, how do I want to sort that? Do I want to sort it by building, by capacity, or by rate? I could do either one. So if there's a drop down, I want to sort it by a building, and I want to sort it by text, just to leave it the way it is. And it does have a header row. So this header row won't be sorted. and I'll just say okay, and then it sorts the whole thing. Okay, so I had the whole table selected. It was really important that I had the whole table selected in order to do that. Otherwise, if I just had selected the data in here, there is a chance that it wouldn't take its information with it. So the next step here is, now that we have our table done, we might want to add some information. So we're going to insert a row at the bottom of the table because we want to add totals to the bottom. Okay, so if we want to add totals to the bottom, I'm just going to select off. If I just put my cursor here and I push tab, so my cursor's in the last cell. It could be over here, but then I'd have to push tab twice. So anywhere it is, if I push tab and tab again, as soon as I get to the end of the table and push tab, it gives me a new row, and it's formatted exactly the way the upper ones were. And so I'm going to add a row, and I'm going to call it total. And then I'll do entire site. Okay, total, entire site, because I wanted to put that in the last one, so I just put a tab in there. So if I wanted to delete it, I could delete one. I just push the delete button so I could select a row. So the same way, I could select a row and I get a black arrow. Sometimes there it is, black arrow, and then I would delete my row, but I don't want to do that. I'll click right off of that. Next, we're going to insert a formula in a table. So we can calculate totals of rows and columns, not nearly as well as Excel can, but we can do some general one. So we want to find out the last row should display the sum of the values in the maximum capacity and daily rate. So I'll put my cursor in the maximum capacity column. We're still in our table, so we have our extra tabs up here. We're going to click formula, and in the formula they automatically throw in this formula. So it's the sum above. Now the sum above works really good for us right now. There's some other issues that can happen when it's not where we want it to be, but for our purposes, we want the sum above. So we're okay right at the beginning learning about this, that we want to put in the sum above. So we will leave that for now to say sum above, and then we'll just say okay. So it added up all of this, and then it highlights like that. Okay, so see, it's got a highlighted thing. If we right mouse button click on that, we can see, because it gave us an update field and edit field. So if I changed a number, so I'm going to change this one to 200, okay, and I'll tab. You'll notice that it didn't update my number, right? I have to, because it's the power of Word is limited, I have to update the field for it to go to 725. So I'm going to put this back to 100 so I don't get, in trouble here. And I will go back here and update that field. So if you change your number, or you found you had the wrong number, or you didn't get 625, then you would have to just right mouse button click and update that field. All right, so I'm going to do this one too. I'm going to go to formula, and now it says sum above, which is exactly what I want. Don't think they wanted us to change any number formats. Now I'm looking to say, do they need us to say any number formats? Let's see, maybe I missed that. Place the number in the current cell. Oh yes, now this is because it's dollars. Okay, got it. Okay, so in our number format here, we have some choices. So when I put my thing in here, if I just put it in by itself, it automatically gave me the number formats, but I didn't really want the decimals in there. So If I did it automatically and it gave me the decimals, I don't really want that. So I'm going to edit the field, and I'm going to edit the formula in there and change my sum for my formula so that it did not have decimals. Okay, so I will take this first one is the one I think I want. Well, it says it wants them. Click the number. Oh yeah, and then okay, so we'll take that one. So I'm just looking for which one it wants. It wants the $sign. Okay. And I don't know why it wants the $sign. Okay, we'll have to do that up there. And we'll just delete these zeros. I don't know why they want us to do it. This is a more interesting way to do it. Okay, I'm just deleting or editing the number format they want. There we go. So I just deleted the decimal 00 so that it looks like this. It's got to be an easier way to do that. And so now we have our table has formulas that if we edit any numbers, we have to update. And it has centered. It looks pretty good, I think. Do we have to do anything else? Oh, we're going to do some cell spacing and some margins in the table as well. So if we want to change the spacing, so we want to add a little bit of white space to every cell in the table because it would make it easier to read. So if we put our cursor anywhere in the table, we can go to the cell margins button. So in our layout, we're in the layout tab in the alignment group right over here. Okay, we have cell margins button. Okay, so our cell margins button, we want to allow spacing between cells, and we're going to up this to 0.02. So it increases the space between cells by this value. So what it does is it just gives more gaps between the cells. And we'll say okay. So it gave it some more gaps, which is nice. We might want to change the cell margins to add some space at the top and the bottom, the left and the right of the cells, because we would have margins within the cells would be better. So we're just going to put our cursor anywhere in the table, and we're going to go back to cell margins. Okay. And this time we're going to use the top and bottom arrows. So we're going to go from the top. Let's see which ones we want. So we want both the top and the bottom to be 0.2. Okay, so both of those to be 0.2. And then the left and the right, we're going to change to 0.1 instead of 8. So we'll go up to 0.1 for both of those. Okay, so this is going to give us more space in the cells. We'll say okay. So it gave us some space in the cells. It gapped out the cells. So it's starting to look a little bit more or a little bit better. There are default table settings that we can use, but this one's good. So our last step in formatting this table is to distribute the columns. So we want to make the width of the second and third columns uniform because they're not exactly right. So they want them to be the same width. So instead of checking and adjusting each column, we could do it all at once. So we're going to select these columns that we want, these two columns that we want. And we're going to go up here and we're going to distribute columns. So distribute the width of the selected columns equally between them. So it stays in the same space, but it makes them the same size. Okay, it's very helpful. So we're good. I think our table is looking what they want, which is great. All right, so now we're going to move on to the other table. What I do notice here is that there's a page break right there. So this table has expanded itself to go to another table another page. And I actually want to get rid of that. That's not good. So what I'm going to do is put my cursor right here at that paragraph marker and push delete. Okay. So now that I have my page break is back up on that page, I want a separate page for the team building activities. And I'm going to go in to this table here. So this table here doesn't even show grid lines. So I actually want grid lines, so I'm just going to select the table. And I can tell it's a table because I have the Move Table button. And of course, these little paragraph markers that are different for tables. So I'll select that. And now that I have my table up here, so I have my table design and my layout, I can choose when I look at this to show my grid lines. When I put it, when I look at it here, I'll back into layout. I want to view grid lines right here, but when I look, if I don't have it selected, it's really hard to tell. So now it's showing me that I have one huge column here. That's a good one for a heading, and then it looks like that. It's much easier if we show our grid lines. If you don't want to show your grid lines, you would just go in there and take them off again. Okay. So we're showing our grid lines. Now, if I went back to my home tab and I turned off my paragraph markers, okay, you still see the grid lines, just so you know. So the grid lines are noticeable for the whole time. Okay, so let's go back to layout. All So in this top one, we have one long space, and what we want is we want to split this cell into two cells. So we can enter a heading above these dollar signs and the buffet breakfast. Okay, so we want to split this cell. So we go up to split cell, and the number of columns is going to be 2 columns, and we're going to say okay. All right, so now that they split it, we actually want to, because we can see our grid line right here, we can then take this and drag that over so that it sits over top of the cell, the column that we want it to be over top of. Okay, so that's really where we want it to be. We can enter text now in our cell, and in the first one, I'm going to type in fee-based options. And I'll push tab, and then I will type in fee per, and I pushed enter because I want it on 2 lines, fee per person. Okay, so now I have that done. I want to then distribute all of the rows. So I want them to be the same size. And I want them for this, like these guys here. So I'm going to select all of the rows below the heading. I'll select them all. And I want to distribute the rows. Okay. So I clicked distribute the rows just so that it evened it all out, made it look a little, excuse me, a little bit better. I need to actually add a column here. So I'm going to add a column. So if I put my insertion point anywhere in the first column, I'm going to, I can do it numerous ways. I could right mouse button click, or I could do this up here. So I want to insert left, okay, column. So I just clicked insert left and inserted a column to the left. If I didn't want to do that, don't forget you could undo, right? So I want to insert a column to the left, and I can click anywhere. And then this one are for this next piece, we're going to be merging some cells in our cells in that table. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to select these 2 cells. So we select the top 2, and we are going to merge the cells. So we just select merge cells. And we want to merge some of these rows together. They're still cells, right? So we want the first 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to merge those cells, just makes one big cell. And we'll do the same with the bottom 6 as well. So we're going to merge those. So now we have 2 big chunks that we can do a bunch of stuff with. And we have our title up here. It's not looking perfect yet, but that's what we wanted to do, is we wanted to merge those cells together so that they got rid of all that extra cells that we had there. Okay, now we're going to type in in here, we're going to have, what do we got? Dining fees. And this one down here is going to be, what is it going to be? Activity fees. Okay, so in here we have our text. We want to change the way our text looks. So you'll notice that we have a bunch of text stuff up here. So we want to change the text direction. And we want it to go from bottom to top. Like there's different ways of doing it, but that's one way of doing it. We also want to do the same thing. So now we have it up here. So we want it to read from bottom to top in the cell. So we want it to read from bottom to top in the text direction. And then we want to align center, okay? Align center. So now that I've got that, I'm going to do the same thing to my activity fees. So I'm going to change the text direction and align it center. So I have both of them going that way. And then I could just keep clicking that if I wanted to change where it goes. Our next step is to resize the table columns, and we're going to use auto fit. So we want each column to be only as wide as the longest entry in the table. So we will put our cursor in our table, and we're going to click the auto fit button up here. Okay, so we'll click auto fit, and we want to choose auto fit contents so that it automatically adjusts the widths of both columns and rows in the table. So we're going to auto fit the contents. Okay, now it kind of squished it in, and that's okay. We can change them individually, but it sort of auto fit the contents quite nicely. If we want to change our column widths, we can do that again. So we want to do the minimum attendees column. And this column right here, we'll select that. And in our width of that column, we're going to make it 0.95. Okay, made it a little bit bigger. And let's check. Yep, that did that one, 0.95. And this one is 0.9. I don't know what that one is. Let me check. That one is not done. Okay, 0.95. I think that's the only one we needed to do because it looks a little bit better. And now we're going to insert a row and merge our cells. So we want to insert a row at the top of the table. So I'll put my cursor in my table, and you notice I have a row right here. So I can insert a row above. Okay. And I want to select cells to merge. So I want to merge all of these cells right here. So they're already selected. So I can just merge those cells so it becomes one cell. I want to align it center. So I aligned it center. And I'm going to type in there what goes in there. Dining and team. Whoops. Better not do that. See, I didn't wait. Let's do that. Dining and team building activity fees. Got that. And I'm just going to bold this text. Oops, where's my little thing? Okay, I'll go back to my home tab and just bold. Bold that. And then I will go into my, where am I? There I am, into my table design. And I want to shade that title. So I want the cell shading color to complement the colors on the cover page and the footer. So my cursor is in this, and I want to choose orange accent to lighter. Okay, so if I look at my shading, I go to shading, I'll go to orange, and we want accent to lighter 60%. And I think I want to do that with these two too. So I'm going to do that with dining fees. So I want these two cells, and I will make that shading as well. So the shading sticks, so I can do that. My next step is to fix the row height. We want the row containing the title. So I'll put my cursor in there and I'll go to my layout tab and I'm going to increase my height to 0.34. And then I'm going to hide my grid lines. Okay, so I've hid my grid lines. Everything's kind of looking okay. If I go to my home tab and turn off my paragraph markers, it looks even better. So I took that off. I might want to add a border around my table, which makes it better because the table border that we want, we're going to use a double line with a blue color. So if I have my cursor in my table, I can go back to my table design and I can go to my borders, okay? And in my borders, I kind of like to use this borders thing right here is what I really like. And I really like to use this because it gives me a picture of the table and allows me to select what I want. So I want to choose my style and my color before I click on the diagram of what I want, okay? So in this case, I want to place a border on every cell, so I want all. So I'll choose all, and I'm going to go to double line. Okay, so I see a double line right here. And I'm going to change the color of that. And the color I'm going to choose is going to be blue accent 1. Blue accent 1. And it has selected all of the border, okay? And then I'll say okay. So that looks good. Now we have our table, and I think we're done with our tables. There's a few things I would like to fix, and I think I was supposed to fix this, so maybe I should fix it, as this should be centered in the cell like the rest of them. So I'll go to layout, and I'm just looking at what it looks like. So this one should be, and that one is, yeah. Oh, that one's good too. And I think this one was supposed to be like that. Okay, so I think that's good. If there's things that I did wrong, then I'm sure they'll tell me. Okay, so the final task in this is to create a watermark. So a watermark is simply a piece of text behind that's sort of semi-transparent. So for example, if this is just going to be a draft, we want to make sure that people know that it's just a draft. So we have, we're in a table, and I'll come out of the table and I'll go to the View tab up here. And in our View tab, we'll go to the Multiple Pages button here. Okay, so that we can see all of our document and we'll be able to see everything we have. So it's starting to look good. There's a few things I have to fix over here, but I'm going to upload it anyway the way it is. So we want to see the word team displayed behind all content in the proposal. So we're just adding an appeal. So we'll go to our design tab. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. I will X out of that. Cancel. Not sure what I clicked. Look at me clicking something that I wasn't paying attention to. So I'm going to get out of that. I'm not even sure what focus. That's what I did. I clicked focus, and I did not want to click focus. I was like, what did I click? I did not mean to. I meant to click the design tab. Freaked me out for a second. I haven't saved in a while. Maybe I should just do that, hey? Save. before I lose it. So we want to, in our design tab, we want to go to watermark. It's quite simple going to a watermark. And we have different things that we can choose. We want the watermark gallery. So we're going to go to a custom watermark down here. Okay, the custom watermark. And in this case, we want to choose the text watermark. And in the text box, what we want to read is going to be team, capitalized. And we can choose what font it's going to be. We want it horizontally to specify what it looks like, not diagonal, but horizontal for the watermark. And then we're going to click apply. Okay, so team came up. So we're good. We can close that. And we've got it all done. There's nothing else to do. I'm going to save that. I'm going to close that. And then we'll do the upload. So now that you're finished with the document, make sure that you have saved it as the correct naming. And make sure you know where you saved it to. And then I want you to upload it to your Cengage for marking. Okay, so we are finished Module 4 walkthrough.